GameTout! Welcome to GameTout, the show where I tout about video game topics that you want to know. Today's topic, Pikmin. And what are your thoughts on Nintendo's current plans with Pikmin? So as you know, I've been a very big fan of Pikmin. Since the day one when it came out for the Nintendo GameCube, I was just like, this new Nintendo IP is going to be amazing, and it was. And I feel like that was like a long time ago. I'm aging myself when I considered that a new IP for Nintendo. But in general, like when that game came out, it was just new mechanics. It had a different feel. It was, very like, I guess like the closely related that I could get it to was it was like Command and Conquer, like StarCraft, and it was like, but it was in 3D, like, all this was like fairly new, and it was just like, it's plant-based, and it's like, and there's animals, and now I'm attached to them, and now I don't want to leave them in the open to get eaten. It was just crazy. So anyways, I became a big fan of Pikmin, and of course, my pet Pikmin video is probably one of my most popular videos. I absolutely love it. So it's sad to me that we haven't heard too much of Pikmin. Pikmin 3 came out for the Nintendo Wii U a while back, and Nintendo just announced today that we're going to be getting a Pikmin 3 Deluxe. What I would have liked to see, and it was one of my predictions a while back, was just, I feel like Nintendo should have bundled this up with Pikmin 1, 2, and 3. It's fairly easy for them to do part 1 and part 2 because they kind of did that already, and so they kind of have, they have the basis to do it, so I don't know why they're just doing solely part 3. To me, it was a lost opportunity. They could do like a whole bundle, and it would have made me want to grab this game more. But let's just look at the game right now. So Pikmin 3, they announced it last week, and it's going to be coming out in October, and it's basically a deluxe version of Pikmin 3 with some new, it's all the DLC that they added and some new mechanics and new features and stuff like that. But all in all, same game. I'm personally probably not going to get the game because I already have it for the Wii U. I've already mastered the game, so it's nothing like fairly new to me. I may have got it if it was in a sleek package of part 1, part 2, and part 3, but unfortunately, again, they didn't do that this time. So going back to the topic of what I'm trying to talk about is I feel like Pikmin's been getting shafted a little bit. It kind of reminds me of Paper Mario. Like Paper Mario 1 and Paper Mario 2 were like really good, and it's just like, I like this gameplay, we need to keep on going with this and stuff like that. And I feel like Pikmin was like part 1, part 2, part 3, it's like oh my god, what's gonna come out of this and stuff like that. And then they announced a part 4, and I'll get to that in a second because I have some thoughts on that. They announced a part 4, and then they came out with this 3DS version where it basically was like a platformer instead of like normal Pikmin stuff you do. So kind of like the Paper Mario mentality, they change up the gameplay, they change up the things to kind of make it fresh, but at the same time, like it's not as well crafted as if they would have just stuck with their formula and just built upon that. So I don't know what they're doing, because I know that they're gonna make a part 4. I know that this deluxe version is just one of those, like they're just trying to get their big Wii U games to be on here, and another company does it besides Nintendo usually. So it's not really, it's to hold us over. And I'm totally good with that. But I'm still really wondering what is next in store with Pikmin. The platformer one didn't sell very well, and I really hope that they don't go like, oh, I guess Pikmin's not it doesn't sell well and stuff. But that's not the point of that game. Like the game wasn't, to me, it wasn't like the Pikmin essence. The Pikmin essence is like part 1, part 2, and part 3. Like it's just like that strategy based with that open world. Like I love that formula. And what they did with it, especially in part 3. Part 3, like it was like, it opened it up more. There was a lot more things to do. It was just cool. Part 2 is still my favorite. I don't know why, but like the gameplay in that and just like the different caves that you can go in, it was just like, it's just my personal favorite still. But Part 3 was cool because you got to, you know, interchange with like 3 different people, and it was just like, it's very unique. So, before I move on, if you haven't played Part 3, if you've never had a Wii U and you're interested in Pikmin 3 is definitely a good pickup, so I would say, and I would suggest you buy it because it would get you into one of the best franchises that I think is available on Nintendo, so definitely pick that up. Going to Part 4 though, the Part 4 that was supposed to be released years and years and years and years ago, right? Basically, there was a famous interview, and I apologize, I should have did research before I started filming, but there was an interview a long time ago. I want to say it was like 2015, something like that. There was, they announced Pikmin 4, but it was Miyamoto going just like, yeah, we're making Pikmin, or something like that, and everybody was just like, oh my god, it's about to be completed, it's about to be released. But the thing is, they're always working on a Pikmin, always. There's a team that specifically works for that franchise, so they're doing, you know, development, they're always doing stuff like that. In my opinion, if they were actually saying it was one of those games, it was probably the 3DS version that they were talking about, and they weren't actually talking about Part 4, and it was something lost in translation. I don't know. Either way, Nintendo, I'm hoping that you guys release another Pikmin. It probably won't be announced until next year. I know this is just to hold us over, but that's what I'm waiting for it, and that's what I want, and that's what we want. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, let me know what you think about that in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys next time. This has been GameTout. Later. Ow!